Welcome to Creativity-Hive's weekly program. My name is Miriam Haugen. I am one of the founders of Creativity-Hive. We help budding videographers achieve massive editing skills through one-on-one teaching and live group coaching in Premiere Pro and After Effects. Our weekly program brings you interesting people from across the world doing interesting things in videography. And I think you'll really enjoy today's guest. I'm going to bring Neil on to introduce him.
Okay. Neil Haugen here, of course, one of the other founders for Creativity-Hive. Roland Kahlenberg from Singapore is a noted motion graphics or MOGRTs producer, worker, developer in working both with Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro. He's produced some interesting systems, his broadcast gems that I've been using for several years for making easy graphics that are actually fairly complicated behind the scenes. And he's got some new things he's working on. But, one of those people with an interesting background in working in video and some tremendous tools to use for working for any of us to create our materials. His graphic stuff is really fine. So at that point, we should go ahead and bring Roland on.
Hey, thanks for having me, Miriam, Neil.
Welcome, Roland. One of the first things, of course, we always like to ask people is, so quickly, how did you get started? Now, you have a bit more history than a lot of us have in the video part of things.
Oh yeah, I started back in 1992. As a project coordinator, also known as a producer back then. So
And that was long before this was digital. You were dealing with film and having to actually cut pieces of film apart, right?
No, not film, not that high budget.
Okay.
But Betacam tapes, video SP tapes, and pneumatic tapes. But essentially, it was linear editing. Not digital yet. Avid had just come on board, but very early Avid at that point in time. So our edit suites were very expensive, about $500,000 worth of equipment in the edit room, but everything was linear editing. So before you got into the edit suite, you would have to have your entire shot list in sequence. And that's the biggest difference between non-digital and digital. The non-linear aspect of being able to move and shift your clips about. But the beauty of linear editing is it forces you to actually visualize your shots or your sequences, so that by the time you get into the edit suite, you would have your shot list, the entire list in proper sequence. And that's how you will go about doing your edits, which is really good because it trains your mind to visualize what you're going to edit. Unlike today, when a lot of times people just start sitting down and bring in the footage and start editing and piecing things here and there. In a way, it's good, but in a lot of ways, it's bad because it doesn't train your mind to visualize. And
Right.
being able to visualize is a critical asset to producing videos or editing videos or directing videos.
So I have a question, kind of a follow-up to that. So how did you get trained?
Ooh, wow. I trained well. I graduated with graduated with a degree in economics from University of Toronto. That was my training, I guess. I did some copywriting prior to joining this media company, which is pretty large. I think we had about 80 odd people at that point in time. Anyway, so not much training. I was just told, okay, pick the music here, and we had a dedicated sound man or audio engineer. So I would pick up the entire library of CD-ROMs, listen to all the music, and I would take note of which ones I liked, and that took me like half a day. And I was taught how to use the the tape machines, how to lock in shots. And I went home and I watched a lot of TV for the first week. Really, I did, and watched it in a very um, with a lot of intent, understanding what shots came first, big shots, small shots, or wide shots, close-ups. So I taught myself those things.
Right.
Well, and of
I
course,
think I did
that's
a
one of
very
those
good job.
things that when you get into full blown editing,
Mhm.
people start talking about a wide shot, a two shot, all this kind of thing. And if you don't
Correct,
know what they're talking about, you feel kind of silly.
correct. But I was a producer then, yeah. So I had an editor. You know, I would come in, sit and tell him what shots, give him the my shot list with the time codes, and he would be spooling the tapes, right? And then he would play it back, and I would say, okay, great, next shot. Um, he'll slice in the shot, and then we'll play it back again, and we'll work in sequence that way. Even the dissolve took like 5 minutes to set up, yeah, because you had to send the footage to a very expensive piece of equipment, you know, do the fade in or the dissolve, and then bring it back in, and it will be one generation down, so to speak, in tape terms, yeah.
Right.
So in terms of lingo, I'm pretty sure I wasn't spot on all the time, but because we had the short list, yeah, in sequence, so it was pretty easy job for him to do, for the editor, that is.
So now moving forward a few years, you're doing, a lot of your work is now in motion graphics. So how did you get into the motion graphics part of things?
Oh, from being a producer, that's when the digital platform really opened up. I was using Adobe Premiere Pro, the very early versions, and it was really really fun. And I thought, this is it, because I've always got itchy fingers, So when Premiere came on, it democratized editing on a digital platform. And so now I could mess about with music as well as visuals. So I essentially moved from producer to the back room doing post production. I would cut visuals and stuff with Premiere Pro, and then I would do all my graphics in Premiere Pro. Even though After Effects was also around and about, I did a lot of my graphics or motion graphics in Premiere Pro for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And then Media 100 was something a lot of us motion designers or motion graphics designers used back then. And this was still early 90s, 1990s. And I got pretty good with Media 100. I would do a lot of their demos at the big shows here. Um, and then I started using After Effects, which was a huge mistake because it's bloody addictive. So very very fun, very challenging, and anything challenging and creative is fun as far as I'm concerned. So I would use After Effects and Media 100 a lot, a lot.
So, if someone wanted to like see some of your work, and is there a website that we can send people to?
Oh, go to Broadcast Jams. Sorry, Facebook .com/broadcast jams
Broadcast
and
Gems, huh?
broadcast,
I'm
and
gonna.
then Gems, yeah, GEMS, Germany, England, Malaysia, Singapore. And I think if once you're there, you can click on the more or the video tab, and you should be able to see a whole bunch of thumbnails, video thumbnails. Are you there, Miriam?
No, I'm not there yet. So it may take me a while. You guys
I
keep
see.
talking. Neil, ask him a question.
All right. So it's facebook.com/broadcast jams.
Broadcast gems. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, Neil.
Yeah. So you got involved in After Effects, uh, and of course, I imagine you worked a lot with a lot of other things there. But when they came out with these with the essential graphics and this new process for graphics in Premiere Pro about what 4 years ago now, you seem to have taken off with that really quite well. I know that your first broadcast gems thing was around then, wasn't it?
No, actually, I'm quite certain I was the first person in the world to market Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere Pro templates, and this
Hmm.
is actually back in 2002. So it's about 19 years ago,
Right.
when I developed the first set of templates. I had Dan Abbott's actually helped me out a little bit on the After Effects templates with a few expression scripts and stuff like that that I built into the DVD package. Back then, internet was very slow, so everything was delivered as a little DVD box. Yeah. So so I had many years of experience developing complex templates for After Effects. So when Essential Graphics panel appeared, it was very simple transition. That's when I decided. Well, one of the biggest things I like was being able to bring After Effects solutions or features into Premiere Pro, and I was pretty good with the After Effects text tool. So I thought, hey, why not bring all the nice, good features in the After Effects text tool and add some other additional features and bring it over into Premiere Pro as a molded,
Hmm.
which is something that resides in the Essential Graphics panel. Um, I think those who have used it liked it. Definitely, we need more people to be using it. Doesn't hurt.
You can build MOGRTs, motion MOGRT, motion graphic templates, MOGRTs. You can build them in Premiere Pro, or you can of course build much more elaborate and involved ones in After Effects and port them out to Premiere. Um, but the design of these is something that is really difficult for a lot of people. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed about working with your broadcast gems was simply that I could choose a bunch of things real quick from the menu that you have in Premiere Pro. And I didn't have to know scripting. I didn't have to know any of these things. I could do something that looked pretty. It was done fast. It had cool shapes and everything. And I'm done and I'm out of there. And so I've really enjoyed being able to use your broadcast gems for that. But that takes a lot of thinking to plan that out, though, so you get the variability that you allow users.
Actually, no. I think I developed that pretty quick. Again, what you saw in the Type Gems version 2 product,
Mhm.
that's the one that you've
Right,
been messing about with. So it's
right.
V2 version 2. I actually developed a version 1 prior to that, which
Uh huh.
was only works only within Adobe After Effects,
Hmm.
and that was developed in 2014. And again, I'm pretty sure I was first in the world to develop a full-featured user interface for the Adobe After Effects text tool, which is hard to argue against. It's probably the most complex slash complicated, mind-boggling feature in Adobe After Effects because there's a bazillion things you could do with the text tool. But it was definitely quite difficult to use, even for matured users. Yeah. So for a long while, I wanted to develop a tool which made it easy for people to get productive with the text tool, produce good stuff, and still be able to make changes. I tell you what, I've got quite an interesting story.
Excuse me.
Back in the late 1990s, I was working on After Effects, and there was a lady from a big advertising agency. So she was sitting next to me. It's not common back then nor today to have a sit-in client when you're working on After Effects. But it just so happened that she came in for this session and we were working with the text tool. And I thought I was pretty good with the text tool. So I was animating the text coming in from left to the right of the screen, which is pretty basic stuff. We had some nice basic effects. And then she said, "Oh, but can we try having it come in from the right instead?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought I was good with this." And that's the issue with the After Effects text tool. Something as which you think is simple, okay, I've animated this thing coming in from the left. Now I want it to come in from the right. It's actually not that easy, eh? You
Mm.
know? Yeah, and I hate being flustered, yeah, by a client. So I decided to really jump in, and the time came and I said, hey, I know enough of expressions, how to write scripts and expressions, and I'm gonna develop this tool. And took many years because 2014 was when Type Gems version one, so to speak, appeared. And now with that tool, it's just one click away or one menu selection away to change your text animation from coming in from the left, from the right, or centered, and I love it.
Well, yeah, because you give so many options. I mean, you can spin text in, you can do all of these things, but it's really cool because you don't have, the user doesn't have to think about it. You just go down a list of options. Do I want to do this? And you look at it and you go, oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'll do that. And oh no, no, but this one with that one doesn't work, so I'll skip that this time. And you can just put a number of things together and come up with something that's not like anything you've done before, and it looks really cool. You've got it done, and you're out of there. I appreciate that.
Exactly. You're welcome. I think being able to design good tools requires a lot of empathy. You really, really gotta love your work, and you really, really gotta love the people who will be using your product. Because that gives you the extra impetus to really want to develop a well designed product. Also, being a user helps a lot because it helps you with the empathy. I mean, there are many ways, or on many occasions, I knew I could take a shortcut. Like, maybe we don't need this, maybe we don't need that. And sometimes the minute or smallish features take the most time to add in because they will come in later during the development stage, and it means adjusting a lot of prior code to make this one small feature happen. But this one small feature actually helps a lot of users to get things done a lot quicker and
Yeah.
easier.
Well, one of the things that I came into this from a stills background, so I was a professional still photographer for many years. And when I first got a video camera and thought a few years ago, thought I'd do some of this video stuff, um, I set up, some microphones and all, and thought I was doing okay for the sound I got. And then we got back here, and I started listening to it and realizing that I didn't have good sound. And well, you just go in and you fix it, right?
Fix it in post.
If you don't have
Bad idea.
really good sound to begin with, you might as well not take the camera out of the case, on location. And so that was a hard and bitter lesson. But the other thing was, okay, so now you shoot and you've got good looking images. I could do that, and you've got sound. I could do that. Um, yeah, you need to edit it to make it look good. But then you've got credits. You've got lower thirds, which are the ones where you have the image that goes across the bottom of the screen, and that gives people's names and titles and everything. You've got your credits at the beginning and the end, and you realize that making these actually look not junky is not as easy as one might think going in. And so that's where I've really enjoyed having yours, because again, it makes it so that I can do something and just be done with it.
Yep. My next product is it's It's a branding toolbox. It's going to be a set of mortgages or templates which can be used in After Effects and Premiere Pro.
Hmm.
And what's unique about these templates is that they're an entire set. So you get lower thirds, you get an OTS, which is over the shoulder panels. You get a full height panels, you get full screen panels. And the motivation for this product is lots of people are doing content marketing, which translates for us in video terms, producing lots of videos for social media. And a lot of these companies are having issues with having a consistent look for their brand.
Yeah.
Um, they would be using templates, which they would buy from any number of available marketplaces out there. Um, but they would buy a lower tier, and if they needed a different an OTS or an over-the-shoulder panel, they would have to sort of make adjustments on their own there. And they would also have issues if they had to output to different aspect ratios. And what's cool about the branding toolbox is that it's resolution independent. So you can change your screen size in Adobe After Effects or your composition size, and the graphics and the text will readjust the size and positions automatically. It's almost like magic, which I something I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, so you could go from HD 1080 to a 5 by 4 format, which is 1350 by 1080 pixels, which is something quite popular on Instagram.
Hmm.
So um, bro- this branding toolbox is supposed to help people to produce their content, motion graphics content a lot quicker, and for different aspect ratios destined for the social media platforms.
That sounds awesome because you're
Yeah, it
right.
is. It is.
Everybody's wanting
I'm quite
posting
excited.
on social media and all the platforms are a little different. And so, yeah, being able to have a consistent look, that sounds great.
Correct, correct. And I've also worked on templates that I receive from clients. These are huge, huge brands here in the world, and I received the templates, and it's in Adobe After Effects, not even in well, they are in essential properties. A couple of them I've seen, but they're so basic and so sad looking, yeah. And I'm thinking, geez, you're one of the biggest companies in the world, earning so much money that you don't even pay taxes. That's how big they are, yeah. But but your templates are so basic, so lethargic, and very cumbersome. You know, like you will get one template, it's only at one resolution, and the more text you type, the more adjustments you have to make. You have to make additional adjustments. But with my branding toolbox, more text you type, the graphics panels will readjust the size and position, and it will auto reanimate into position also. So it's rather sad that really huge companies are not really optimizing their workflows or taking advantage of the motion graphics features that are available or have been available for a few years already. So hopefully the branding toolbox will help as an introduction. Initially, I thought I'm going to price it pretty high, but yesterday I thought, hey, I think I will price it low, and with the intention of using it to introduce high-end or full-featured motion graphics templates to as many people as possible. Because I think a lot of times when we watch examples or samples of motion graphic templates or mogets being displayed on the internet, even by the good folks at Adobe, I've only ever seen very simple, very basic templates that are being shown. And I think it's rather sad because it really doesn't show the huge potential and the huge solution that it is, for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
hopefully this branding toolbox will do a bit, turn things in the right way.
it will be nice to show them because I'm imagine that will be part of some of the training that we'll be doing is working with people on things like that because there are so many things out there that you need to frequently add into your program, whether it's an editing program or After Effects or something like that. There's different plugins and extensions and this kind of thing that can make a big difference in getting work done. And people a lot of times will go out and they'll just buy something because they've seen it demonstrated on YouTube, and I'll be looking at it and going, "You spent how much for that piece of okay?" Because if they'd have learned how to work with a proper plugin like what yours have been, or even spend a little time in After Effects themselves, they could have done really a lot better. But it's a huge part of the whole thing. So we'll be definitely in the training we do through Creativity-Hive, we'll be wanting to work with some of the kinds of things that you do, and probably talking with you more over time.
So
Yeah, yeah, sure.
what advice would you have for again a videographer just starting out? That's
Cool.
a pretty open-ended question.
Yeah, I think I'm more in post-production, so perhaps that's the area of focus I should be looking at.
Uh-huh.
And perhaps someone who's going into After Effects and maybe a little bit of editing. Today and for tomorrow, you need to know the technical stuff very well. Um, I mean, I used to lecture at the university here or at a university here, and I used to train. I've trained hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fellow professionals in Singapore and Malaysia. Motion graphics artists, Premiere Pro editors, um, producers, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And I always start my courses by motivating them to appreciate the technical aspects. Because if you don't get the technical aspects correct, Neil, like recording good sound, if you don't get the technical and the basics correct, you will never be able to do a good job. Yeah, no matter how many hours you spend rotoscoping and things like that. But if there are technical aspects that you don't understand, you'll never get your output right. You'll be setting up the wrong render settings, even basic things like that. So always appreciate the technical side so that you have full freedom to exercise your creativity. Yeah. Lots of people come in and say, "Oh, I'm very creative. I don't like the technical stuff," and they just think they can produce good stuff. No, you're going to be spending so many hours producing really creative stuff, but because you don't know the fundamentals, not the technicalities, you're going to be outputting eventually crap, you know. So that's it. Technical stuff first. So your foundation is solid and you can stand, you can jump from a 7 foot tall building and land on your foundation and you'll still be pretty solid. So foundations are built on technical knowledge. And then creativity, just let it flow. Learn as much as you want, as much as you can, and then develop in an open, honest way. And that's the best thing you can do.
That's a good quote. Get the foundations and then jump over yeah. Jump
Don't do
how
it,
did you
John.
say that? Jump over a 7 foot
Jump from a
tall
7 foot tall building. Yeah, yeah,
building, and
yeah,
then you'll land well because the foundation was solid. That is great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
also
yeah.
really appreciated what you said earlier um, about caring, that you really care about your the people that are buying your product, that and because you are doing the same kind of work that they're doing, and it's so important. I think sometimes sometimes the larger corporations can lose sight of the user a little bit, can't they? But that that is so important.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
anything
definitely, definitely.
anything else that we want to say before wrapping this up?
No, no, I just hang on there for the branding toolbox, and I'll
Awesome.
be on with Neil on that hopefully. Um, and oh, I am quite keen. I've actually set up a course outline to teach people how to develop moldets from basic to mid-level to really high-level moldets. The course outline I have thus far is about a 40-hour course. It's pretty substantial, but it hasn't been fleshed out. I've got all the topics lined up in sequence, and I've set up the required hours for each topic, and it's come up to about 40 hours. It will probably end up being 50 hours. But that's something that would be nice to teach to people, because I think mullets are beautiful, and we need more people to be able to do the same things that I do, so that we get this sort of really high-end solutions, intelligent solutions, out to as many users as possible.
That is great. So should they be watching on your gonna for new stuff coming out? Is that Broadcast Gems going to be a place to find it, or is there
Oh yeah,
someplace
yeah,
else that would?
yeah. Well, you guys hopefully will do some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
let
So
everybody know.
exactly. But Facebook.com/podcast jams. Head over there. We've got a call for beta testers. Very late call. If you're using a non-English version of After Effects, or if you're using right to left languages, like Middle Eastern, South Asian languages, then those are people that would be nice to have to test them out. Because I've tried to develop the templates to be right to left language system friendly. Because a lot of templates there are just left to right, English
Mhm.
based, or Romanized languages. So I've tried to make it a little bit friendly for those who are on the right to left language system. So yeah, come on board there. Join the beta testing group if you'd like to. Um, Not many slots available, but and then come there. Once we get the product out, there'll be a huge discount. If I keep my decision to price it low. I had visions of joining Elon Musk for lunch with a huge price tag. I said no, I'll join you for burgers and perhaps Miriam when travel is becomes available.
Right.
Yeah. Pricing it low, get it out to as many people as possible, and then if enough people buy it, that's great. And then there's good money to earn with really customized templates, and perhaps also training. Yep.
Sounds great. All right. Well, I thank you, Roland. It's been very interesting. These are interesting topics. So, and I will just tell everyone that you can join our Creativity Hive community by going to the Creativity Hive Inner Circle, and I'm going to put that on there, show that. Haha. Ask to join our group, and then you can share ideas and learn when we're going live next.